Fighting, we all know, has always been seen as the poor man's game. There are about a gazillion stories with a typical rags to riches theme, like you're broke, hungry, and you gotta grind and make a name for yourself. That's a story we're all used to hearing with classic underdog vibes, but what if I told you there's someone with a whole other side in the sport? What if I told you today we're talking about a fighter who was already generationally wealthy before he even thought about stepping into the ring or octagon? Yeah, you heard me right, and I'm talking like family money rich, who takes Lamborghinis for a drive and is already living the dream. But they still chose to get into the fight game, and guess what? He didn't just get in, he became an elite fighter, one of the best in the sport. This is Arman Tsarukyan, a man of mystery. We all know how well he is in the game, but it's the other side of the game that people rarely know about him. What religion does he follow, and what is his ethnicity? These are some of the questions that pop out when he gets mentioned. He is some kind of an enigma. So, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, let's dig deeper to know more about him in this video. First up, let's discuss his ethnicity. Arman was born on October 11th, 1996 in Ahalkalaki, Georgia. He's got Armenian roots, but here's the kicker. He's an Armenian-Russian national, and while he fights out of Yerevan, Armenia, he actually moved to Russia when he was just a toddler. His dad, Nairi Tsarukyan, is a successful businessman in construction, and the whole family is based in Russia, although Arman himself now lives in America.
I was born in Georgia. It's like very small village, about like 100 houses. You know, like my father moved to Russia to make money. I have been living in Russia like about 20 years. It's like my, it's my country almost, yeah, for sure I'm Armenian. But
although he developed a liking for the sport of ice hockey, which he played for almost a decade, he ultimately chose wrestling. Back in those days, he was making a name for himself in the various local competitions related to wrestling, grappling, and pancration. While steadily building his skill set, what sets Tsarukyan apart from others who grew up in comfort was his unwavering discipline. Despite the luxurious lifestyle his family afforded him, Arman set his sights on becoming an elite-level MMA fighter and worked tirelessly to get there. By 18, Tsarukyan was already driving luxury cars and living a life of success, unattainable for most people his age. He could have been chilling on a beach somewhere drinking those expensive cocktails, but instead he decided to kick some ass for fun. He always had love for combat sports, but he recently confessed that he started his career as an MMA fighter to get verified on IG and get a uniform from the UFC just to get verified on Instagram. Really? Wow.
And I just tell to my friend, I just want to get UFC, get on my Instagram verification and the uniform from UFC, and that's it. I don't want anything from this sport.
Is that real? What kind of a goal is that? Who needs a UFC title when you got that blue check mark? Am I right? Anyways, taking Tsarukyan's word as his bond, it was for the best that he didn't stop after the IG verification. Despite having modest intentions initially, destiny had different plans for him. Fast forward to December 2024, Tsarukyan has gone on to have a 9-2 record in the UFC and is the top-ranked UFC lightweight contender with notable victories over Beneil Dariush and champion Charles Oliveira. Okay, now let's talk religion, because this part is a bit of a funny story. First of all, he's an Armenian Christian, but for some miscommunication, he was always mentioned as a Muslim fighter from Russia. Now, let me tell you that hilarious story of a prank involving his coach. Arman pulled off one of the longest pranks on his coach. For 2 whole years, his coach believed that the Armenian fighter was Muslim, all thanks to the lightweight contender himself. In an interview with Adam Zuba on YouTube, Arman revealed how he kept up the joke and his coach's reaction when he found out. Classic prankster move.
И там Магомед тренер говорит, когда Армана видишь, всегда ему говорю салам алейкум. И мне, и тренер всегда мне салам алейкум, я говорю валейкум салам, и он думает, что я тоже мусульманин. И он, тренер, иншаллах, сейчас там, тренер, он все знает. Иншаллах, да, номер один, иншаллах, номер один, иншаллах, номер один. И пошел где-то года 2. И это, я говорю, тренер, говорю, я говорю, не мусульманин. Да. И он говорит, как не мусульманин? А почему Мага всегда говорил, что это? Я говорю, да он специально подкалывает меня.
Unfortunately for his coach, he was at the receiving end of a harmless prank. It's a crazy story. The number one contender is one hell of a prankster, and hats off, especially for maintaining his part for this long. But hey, his playful side can sometimes get him into some tight spots, like the one involving a Russian fan and Kayla Harrison.
Do not something to my boy Arman. Arman, вот эта вот девочка, которая рядом с тобой сидит, сколько бы палок ей кинул, брат? Честно скажи.
Парочку.
My boy.
Host Megan O'Leary asked for a translator, but Arman shrugged it off, saying it is a stupid question. Once that happened, the floodgates were opened, and the next morning, Kayla knew what was said in there.
I was so embarrassed and like shocked and ashamed and like I don't know why I was ashamed, but
Arman Tsarukyan later cleared the air regarding the situation, but it was a bad pill to swallow for all parties involved.
What happened? We talked to each other after that, and she understood what I mean, and now we're good.
A really inappropriate question, and then to answer that was unfortunate. He learned from it, and both now have moved on from this incident. Still, not the best look, but hey, we all make mistakes. Now on to some serious stuff. The next fight for the 28-year-old will be a title clash against the current 155-pound champ Islam Makhachev. Meeting was Arman's promotional debut and came on relatively short notice. Tsarukyan fixation when he gave Islam his career till today. Makhachev's relentless pressure and 4 takedowns helped secure raised so many eyebrows, and he's lived up to that reputation ever since, delivering some dominant performances along the way. Since then, the challenger has gone 9-1, with his only setback being a debated loss by decision to Mateusz Gamrot. So what's good matchup? How does Arman against the champ? Arman Tsarukyan fights with an orthodox fighting stance and is an impressive wrestler. He's known to put an exquisite level of MMA grappling on display. He possesses good cardio and depends on his short throws and well-calculated takedowns to bring his opponents down to the mat. Arman Tsarukyan has 5 of his wins via submission. On the other hand, calling Islam a Khabib replica will be a Himalayan blunder. He definitely possesses the same wrestling and grappling pedigree, but in terms of striking, he's way ahead of Khabib. We've seen him go toe-to-toe with Dustin, who's considered one of the finest strikers in MMA today. His technicality in grappling will be a key factor in the matchup, along with his improved striking. He's got the full package on display among the Dagestani contingent in the UFC. This was a matchup 5 years in the making. The moment after his loss, he chose to face Islam again. Now, after nearly 5 years, he finally gets his chance. What happens? Only the Almighty knows. Maybe we'll be watching a wrestling or a grappling match on the canvas, or maybe we're in for deja vu of the Covington-Usman fight. Folks, Arman Tsarukyan right now is the biggest challenger to the 155-pound throne since blonde Charles Oliveira. He has the tools to get the job done, but will he succeed? That is a big if going against the current champ Islam. After engaging in a competitive, entertaining battle in 2019, Makhachev and Tsarukyan finally face off for a second time, with the lightweight title hanging in the balance. With both fighters on impressive winning streaks, this rematch has quickly become one of the most intriguing matchups in the lightweight division. Whatever happens, it's clear whoever wins gets the belt at the end of UFC 311. This might be the best possible championship pairing available in the UFC at the moment, which is a testament to how incredible both men shot for shot in this fascinating match. In a podcast, Tsarukyan promised that if he beats Makhachev and wins the belt at UFC 311, he'll walk with the belt across the whole of Russia on foot.
Пояс выиграю, вот так по всей России пойду пешком. Пешком пойду отсюда до Хабаровска.
Man, if we looked at his previous track record of discipline and determination, he might just do that if he gets the W. However, Islam will ensure that Arman can keep driving comfortably around Russia without the belt though. Let's see who comes out on top on January 18th in California. So what do you guys think of behind the Francis Ngannou and Dana White beef?